Hey guys, Bass Pro Tour angler Dakota Ebare here, and we are at my home lake, Sam Rayburn. Where I call home. This is my training ground, and we're getting ready for the 23 season. It's late winter, kind of getting to that pre-spawn time. Gonna be throwing some big crankbaits today, hopefully catching some big Texas bass. I'm hoping that some crazy things happen. Catch some really big bass and some really big baits and have a really good time. But it's Sam Rayburn, it's heavily pressured. There's no telling what's gonna happen out there. So, you know, every day is different here, and that's something that's great about this lake. And anywhere really in East Texas, because everybody loves bass fishing. These lakes are really pressured and they change all the time. It's always a puzzle to figure it out. Here we are, guys. We are at Sam Rayburn, the place I call home. I've been calling Rayburn home for probably the last 5 years now, and it's been instrumental in getting my career started, and it still teaches me stuff every day that I'm out here. It's just a great fishery. It's always changing. You can catch them shallow. You can always catch them out deep. Really, you can pick your poison, but you also have so many different opportunities to learn these different techniques, which I've been able to apply all over the country. So, you know, this area, this lake, this community has been really instrumental in getting my career started and still is today, and I'm very thankful for that. Well, you know, pretty much the staple here, like everybody's heard, you know, it's just all about the cranking bite early in the season, and it's one of my favorite bites, throwing the 6XD. For me, there's only one color, chartreuse powder blue. It's hard to beat it really here. I think it's a watercolor, and moving that bait quickly through there, they see it and it's just something they react to. It's just a great color. It's a great bait to cover a lot of ground with, and we're really gonna be targeting these drains, which is just a traditional pattern here this time of year in East Texas. But these fish use these drains as highways, basically, just to come in and out of these spawning areas, in and out of these flats where they feed. And really the key to it is finding the gizzard shad. That's what I'm looking for. It's all about gizzard shad this time of the year for me. That's what it seems like the bigger fish are going to be keying in on. There we go. There we go. That's a nice one. That's what we're looking for right there. That's the way to start off the morning. That's a pretty nice fish. Just a solid keeper. Try not to get none of them trebles in my hand. Pretty nice fish right there, boys. That's the way to start off the morning. Wasn't one of them 6-pounders we was talking about, but I'll take a 3.5, 4-pounder anytime. First thing, right off the bat. That's whenever that back hook come out, but man, that's the one thing to tell you, you got the right color. Whenever they got that bait sideways like that, that's, you know, they're getting it good. But beautiful fish, 3-pounder, 3.5-pounder. I'm coming to y'all for the fish. Y'all ain't supposed to be coming to me. I ain't catching nothing. They might be trying to run me off. It's amazing though. I can see on my live scope. We get it right here around these birds, and they're not really actively feeding, but they're moving. And when they're moving, I mean, they're moving for a reason, right? And I start seeing bait on my live scope. So it's really cool. I mean, they'll tell you everything you need to know, really, as long as you're willing to pick up on it. Well, got a little keeper. Just had to get a bite or two, get things rolling back in the right direction. I lost my worm. Where'd my worm go? If you need a bite or two, it's hard to beat. Oh, Morning Dawn worm, man. Strike King come out with these filler worms last year. I'm really excited about it. Nothing special about it. Just a good old pink worm, but it gets bites. If I need a bite, this is what I'm going to. And I don't have no shame in it. Right now, I'll have all the way up to a 10XD, and I'm covering water from 2 feet out to 30 feet, you know, and it just depends on the day, the conditions, and timing, right? If you have a nice warm day, some of those bigger females are gonna pull up and they're gonna get in those pre-spawn areas. There we go. He's not a real big guy. I only got one to bite the old plug though. Little fella. Still just a healthy one. One thing about the fish here, they got plenty to eat. And they healthy.
You gotta string me along, 'cause I ain't gonna ride. You got me way too spy.
I'm talking about, there is a big old school of fish right here. Look at them on the screen, on the Garmin right here. Look at all of them. All them fish come up with them, and that's what I'm talking about. Sometimes you just gotta use that filler worm to go ahead and just get a bite, you know? I'm gonna hurry up and get this fish in the boat here. We're gonna try to see if we can get a big one fired up. There we go. Carolina rig fish on the game hole. Spotted bass. A little spot. Little guy. I'm using a 7.4 Elite rod, heavy action, and it's perfect for this Carolina rig. I like using those longer rods. Really get that Carolina rig out there when you're throwing a long leader like I'm throwing. It's a little chunk, but I'll show you that rod here in a second. So I'm showing, like I said, the 7.4 Elite with a BB1 Pro reel, high speed ratio, just to be able to catch up that slack whenever you need to. I like to use a heavy action, but I'm not gonna really jack those fish super hard. I'm gonna let that line get tight and I'm just gonna pull into them and let the rod do the work. Strike King game hog, little chartreuse on the tail, and just a classic Texas setup, man. This KVD filler worm though is probably my #1 bait for just getting bites. I mean, it just generates them. I mean, as I'm saying that, there's one right there, look at there. I mean, it is just, and it'll catch big ones too. I mean, there's been many a big bass caught on these little, on a Morning Dawn color worm here in East Texas, I can guarantee you. This drag on this custom light is so smooth. Little chubby fella. He's chubby like me, short and fat. Pretty little fish. So, nothing special about the way I rigged this. So again, we got the KVD filler worm. Got a nose hook it right here. Just like that. And you'll be surprised how weedless that bait is. If you keep that hook tucked just inside the nose of that worm, you can throw it through any kind of brush piles, structure you want. If it gets hung up in a brush pile or something, you just sit there and shake it a little bit, it'll come right out every time. It's amazing how weedless that bait actually is. That's a big one. A good one at least. Oh. That just goes to show you, that old pink worm, sometimes catch a nice one. Look at that fish. How pretty is that fish? Look at all the colors. Hey, don't be scared to throw around that little pink worm every once in a while. It'll catch a good one now. Look how pretty this fish is. Look at the markings on that fish. Isn't that cool? 3 pounder probably. 3 1/4. Beautiful fish though. Look at all that black. Isn't that cool? There you go. She gone. So I started off cranking, you know, I started out looking for those big groups of pre-spawn females in the drains, just traditional Rayburn, East Texas patterns. And really, you know, that pattern applies all over the country. But I was looking for those bigger groups of females in those drains, in those depressions that are setting up, that are gonna eventually pre-spawn in those areas. As the day progressed, I got a couple nice bites early, but you know, those schools seemed to be kind of busting up and they weren't really setting up very well for me. So I transitioned up to the grass. But once I started figuring out there was a lot of fish on the inside of that main grass line, I kind of went to work with that red-eye shad and had a lot of fun and caught a lot of fish. You never know here. You never know here at Rayburn when that next cast might be an 8 or 9, maybe even a 10 pounder. I believe we got us a kitty cat. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Oh yeah, that's what you want right there. You want that red-eye shad all the way. Hey, they eat that thing, bass and all. That's gonna be fun right there, boys. It's great eating. Not in my boat. And throw that hook right in you. Oh. Open your mouth. Let me have that back. Oh yeah, it's in there good. Oh. Not what you want. Unless you was hungry and you want some fillets, I guess. Wrong species. Red-eye shad don't discriminate. Had to get on the inside of that grass line. Not a bad fish either. Been fishing the outside of that grass line with that red-eye shad. And made a move to the inside. I was trying to go over there to the other side. Yeah. Made a move to the inside of that grass line and got us a bite. Decent little keeper. Little fella, but it just goes to show you gotta keep making adjustments because things are changing. I look down at that water temperature, I say, man, it ain't but 58 degrees. Them fish probably 59 degrees right here. That red-eye shad bite's fun. Even when they're little, they're fun. Just gotta cover water with that bait. That's the great thing about it. You can effectively do that with it. Get you a high-speed reel. This is a custom from Lew's. This is a 7:5:1 ratio. I got 15-pound test line. I got a custom speed stick, medium. It's actually a medium heavy with a moderate taper. It's a moderate fast. So a little bit heavier rod so that I can rip it free from the grass, but it's got the moderate taper in it. If you can look, it doesn't bend really in the tip as much as it bends kind of throughout the backbone. Gives you a little bit more forgiveness whenever you're fighting those fish with treble hooks. So There we go. There's another one. It's another thing right here. It's a little one, but you got to pay attention. See that front hook? When that fish ate that bait, he ate it with, you know, he actually ate it. Ow. He didn't really slap at it. He actually tried to eat it as fast as it was moving. And that's something you really want to pay attention to, even when they're little ones. If you got the right color, you want them on that front hook. If you start catching them on the back hook, barely getting them, and they're hooked outside the mouth, that's when you're going to want to make a color change. There's another one. There we go. There's a bunch of them up there. I see them. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. See how I got both hooks in that fish? They're eating it. That's what you want to see. He ate that bait sideways, and that's the way you want him to get it. If his grandmama bites it here in a little bit, I'll get her like that too, and she won't come off. You know, so it's so surreal having the opportunity to sit here and work with Strike King, work with Luz, and to be shooting this video. You know, it's really a dream come true for me. And, you know, it goes back to, you know, when I was a kid. I mean, my mother has, you know, videos and pictures of me in a bass boat before I could walk, literally like in one of the little bouncy things you put kids in. It was just my life growing up, and it's just what we did. I never really thought about it like, man, I'll be doing this for a living one day. It's just what I love to do. You know, hard work and perseverance and putting in the work and putting in the efforts. It's really been a dream come true, and I'm forever thankful for that. Gosh dang, that sucker smoked it. That was cool. Knocked the fire out of it. I like that. See, I had him a front hook too. And a little salad to go with it. Little fella. I knew he was gonna be there. That's the spot right there. That's the sweet spot right there. That's a good fish too. A little bit better fish. And this is an absolutely perfectly set up scenario. Don't come off. Oh shoot, that fell down. So that fish was set up perfect right there on that inside grass line, just like I've been talking about the whole time. And this is, you know, that last one I caught was about the same size. And they were both sitting in the same spot. Just a little bit better quality than the other ones. But I'll explain exactly kind of where that fish was sitting, but it was just a stereotypical perfect spot right there. That's a pretty fish, close to 3 pounds. Thought that might have been old big down in that brush pile, but it wasn't. Not a bad keeper though. It's been a great day here on Sam Rayburn. We've caught bass just about every way you could imagine, from 2 foot out to 22 foot. Drop shots to 10XDs, so can't ask for much more than that. You know, growing up, I never really fished like this. I mean, I grew up in South Louisiana, just a little town called Watson. We went fishing on the weekends and hunting on the weekends during hunting season, and that's what we did. I mean, that's just the way I was raised. We'd eat what we caught and eat what we kill, and we never went far. We just went to a little lake called False River. Mainly, I fished in little neighborhood ponds and gravel pits. I think I got kicked out of every neighborhood pond in Livingston Parish. Probably shouldn't say that on camera, but hey, it's truth, you know, and I was just trying to fish. I was just a kid that loved it, and all that paid off, because here we are, you know, having an opportunity to live my dream and fish for a living. And so surreal, honestly, getting to fish against guys like Kevin Van Dam and people that I grew up watching. I mean, now I get to work alongside him with Strike King and Lou's. And I went to community college right outside of high school for 2 years. I graduated, I had an industrial technology degree, and I had a lot of family members and stuff that worked in some refineries, and they made a good living, you know, but they fussed every day because they had to go to work. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna find something that I gotta wake up and I'm excited for every day. And I loved fishing, and you know, I really believe God's had a big part in that, and try to do my part and be a good guy and let the rest fall into place, you know. But it's been an awesome ride so far, and I just hope to keep it going. There we go, right there. That might be a better fish. Yeah, that's a little better fish there, boys. Look at that red eye shad gone. She got the whole thing gone, look at that. That's the way you want one to eat it. And right there, that's what you want to see right there. That's when they're eating it. You gotta get the pliers out. Also, like, they didn't get her in the gills either, so we can still get it out without hurting her. It's been a great day here at Rayburn. You know, we started out cranking out deep, caught a couple nice ones like that. It was real foggy, but the sun has come out, you know, and these fish have really moved up on the flats, and we're catching quite a few. Haven't really run to the right quality yet, but it's been a blast, and it's been a great day out here on Sam Rayburn, East Texas, getting ready for the 23 season. Just getting a little tune up. Go ahead. There you go.